In old Havana, where much looks like it was frozen in the 1950s, something new and a little shocking is happening.
Makes sense to open a business.
You're sort of a pioneer. In this country, at least for 60 years, these types of things were not allowed.
In communist-ruled Cuba, a little bit of capitalism is starting to emerge.
History books tell you that 1968 was the last time that Cuban nationals could do what we are doing now.
Big change.
Just one administration ago, America's export of liquid natural gas helped make us energy independent and shored up our national security. This year, the Biden administration put a pause on exports.
This is catering to a certain block of voters that the president needs for re-election. Am I right?
You're right.
We take a look at both the outrage and the reasons.
After the trillions of dollars given away during the COVID pandemic, some cities are experimenting with socialism on a small scale.
So guaranteed income has been tried in the U.S. before. How did it work out?
It was an absolute disaster.
This week, we examine money for nothing.
Welcome to Full Measure. I'm Sharyl Attkisson. Cuba, one of America's closest foreign neighbors, is mired deep in an economic crisis caused in part by declining tourism revenue, U.S. sanctions, and higher food and energy prices stemming from the war in Ukraine. Meantime, you may not have heard some big news. The communist island nation has officially declared its Soviet-modeled economy dead and has begun a transition to something quite different. Today, we're off to Havana to see what that looks like.
Hi,
I'm Sharyl Attkisson.
Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Gabriel.
In a remote neighborhood outside Havana, nestled among a shady grouping of yucca, banana, and carob trees, is a small flower production business owned by Gabriel Perez Gonzalez.
Well, in this case, they're preparing the banana flour. Well, at this point, we're still like super small business.
Perez Gonzalez had tried investing in the restaurant business, but went bankrupt during COVID. Post-COVID, a new opportunity surfaced, and he grabbed the chance.
Makes sense to open a business. So, yeah, we just did it.
You're sort of a pioneer. In this country, at least for 60 years, these types of things were not allowed.
That's right.
There's really no blueprint for how to do that here.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
What's happening here signals the biggest lean toward a market economy since a revolution installed Fidel Castro as Cuba's leader. Castro led Cuba on a fast track to communism, seizing tens of thousands of private shops and outlawing nearly all small private businesses.
Is it accurate to say this is a communist island under a socialist economy? How would you term it?
Cuba defines itself as a socialist republic.
Professor Raul Rodriguez heads up the Center for United States and Hemispheric Studies at the University of Havana.
What is true is, yes, the Cuban system is not a market economy, or is not dominated by the market economy. It is supposed to be building a mixed economy where there is room for private and there is strong state.
Whatever you call it, there's now a major shift after decades of the state owning nearly all of the stores and providing nearly all of the jobs. The reality is, over the decades, Cuba's economy became so distressed, its leaders were forced to hold their nose and embrace a hint of capitalism. In 2019, President Miguel Diaz-Canel recognized the private sector as legitimate, and a new constitution expressed the right of private property. COVID worsened Cuba's economic crisis, and an uprising in summer of 2021 accelerated plans to give small and medium private businesses legal status.
And is now involved in a reforming the system and using more private property and more private elements in its economy. Because it is obvious that the centralized command economy, Soviet-styled, was a failure. We saw it in the 70s and the 80s and with the end of the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe.
This warehouse is an example of something that didn't used to exist. It's part of a private company that sells supplies to hundreds of other privately owned stores and restaurants in Cuba, only possible under relaxed restrictions in the communist-run socialist state.
There's chocolate, snacks, liquor, and more, all owned by Aldo Alvarez, a lawyer who also owns the Distento restaurant, where they're cooking up vittles for customers 24 hours a day.
Is this the first time since the revolution that Cubans have had the opportunity to do what you're doing?
History books tell you that 1968 was the last time that Cuban nationals could do what we are doing now.
Big change.
Yeah, it's a big change. So what we did was, okay, let's find a place that we could start a cafeteria business. And now we have 3 of them. We have an elaboration production center that offer Cuban products like hamburgers, like croquetas, like cheese balls to these places and other clients.
So you have a restaurant,
yes.
But you also supply other restaurants?
Yes.
Cuba now allows private businesses with up to 100 employees. Juan Triana Cordovia is with the Center for the Study of the Cuban Economy.
At the end, today, the Cubans in general have the right to have a private business in Cuba. It is a constitutional right today for the Cuban people, and it is new, really new.
How many businesses have become?
More than 8,700 in only 2 years. It means that today we have more people, employees, in the non-state sector than in the state sector.
But he says the biggest outstanding obstacle to a better economy for Cuba remains the long-standing U.S. embargo.
Whatever Cuba decides to do with the economy to improve matters, is it true that without the United States changing its policies, there's only so much Cuba can do?
Yes, it is real. But of course, the United States policy toward Cuba is really a strong limit in order to improve the economy. Everything costs many more. Everything.
The U.S. isn't entirely on the sidelines as Cuba tilts farther away from a communist and socialist economy. President Biden pledged to increase support for independent Cuban entrepreneurs.
What would you like people to know who don't understand really much about what's going on?
Well, I think it's important to be patient as well, and focus on one thing. That's it. On being successful. Change the paradigm and accept that our situation is totally changed. It's never going back to the place that we were.
Cuba recently reported milk, powder, wheat flour, and fuel shortages, but the government insists things are still better than they were before the economic reforms. Ahead on Full Measure, Biden's push me, pull you over energy. The U.S. is now producing more oil than any country in history. It's a trend that's been building in recent years, a remarkable turnaround since 2008 when exports were zero. You'd think it would be something to brag about. So why isn't the Biden administration boasting? Scott Thuman reports.
When the government makes an announcement at the end of the work week, it's frequently done to bury the news. Last January 26th, a Friday, the Biden White House made public what it called a pause on new liquefied natural gas, or LNG, export projects. But instead of getting buried, the news triggered an immediate negative reaction, and not just from conservatives. The Washington Post called it political symbolism and the wrong move. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia furious, calling it pure politics.
Again and again, the White House has shown that it is so concerned with indulging radical climate activists that it's willing to play politics with our energy security and that of our allies.
And the Wall Street Journal said it was a gift to Russian leader Vladimir Putin because his country could benefit from reduced American gas exports. As we've reported on Full Measure, U.S. liquefied natural gas exports have risen dramatically, especially since Putin's invasion of Ukraine. In fact, American natural gas has helped Europe rely less on Russian product, whose profits were helping pay for the war against Ukraine. Back in 2022, President Biden proudly struck a deal with Europe to supply more gas.
The United States, together with our international partners, we're going to work to ensure an additional 15 billion cubic meters of liquefied natural gas, LNG, for Europe this year.
So why the decision now to stop approvals for new export facilities? For many, including energy state Democrats like Henry Cuellar of Texas, it's a big mistake by the Biden administration done to please climate change voters.
You talked about the fact that there are people in your state who are going to complain that this hurts jobs. Do you think that this is purely a political decision?
I don't want to speak for the White House at all, but in my opinion, just not speaking for the White House, yes.
It's hard to look at it and not say, it's an election year, this is catering to a certain block of voters that the president needs for re-election. Am I right?
You're right. And listen, if they're worried about the energy clean goals that we have, which we all are, so let's say you put a pause on LNGs, American LNGs. Do you think the Middle East is going to produce energy cleaner than we are? No. So I'd rather have American jobs created here than and cleaner energy than some of the other countries where they'll get the jobs, they'll get the monies.
That's a theme picked up by a Senate Energy Committee skeptical about the administration's freeze on LNG export facilities.
In times of war, is it wise to give our allies and partners and neutral parties across the world an excuse to do business with our enemies?
To no one's surprise, we're here again talking about the Biden administration just causing a train wreck for domestic energy policy.
David Turk, the Deputy Secretary of Energy, was left trying to defend the move to stop new LNG projects.
So I feel incredibly proud to be part of an administration that's taking head-on the climate challenge that's facing our country, and we're making remarkable strides along those lines. I also think, in addition to the climate impacts of more and more exports of natural gas, we also need to take into account the economic consequences for American consumers.
The Biden administration insists, despite the pause, U.S. liquefied natural gas exports will still be up year to year for the next 6 years due to projects that had already been approved. For many, though, including members of the president's party, it's the timing of the decision that draws the most criticism.
If you had the ability to say, our production is through the roof, better than it's ever been, our exports through the roof, pulling in all sorts of income, you would think a White House would be shouting that from the mountaintops.
They should. And I think this administration is missing a key point that is important to the American public, and that is we're producing jobs, we're producing also clean energy, the oil and gas, but we're doing it in such a way that it's cleaner and trying to reach those clean energy goals that we've set.
So how long is the pause on the new export facilities going to last?
Well, the Biden administration hasn't given a precise date, but in the last few weeks, they've indicated they think it will take several months.
So tell me if this is true. We were helping Europe with our exports not rely so much on Russian energy. How do they feel about us freezing these exports?
It's been a bit of a mixed bag as far as reaction goes. Publicly, you've got European leaders who say the existing and the already approved exports, that's enough to cover their needs. But there are others who are pretty critical, and they say that they've always expected that the United States will be the, quote, global guarantor of energy security.
All right. Thanks for the report, Scott. Coming up on Full Measure, free money, no work required. Should taxpayers have to pay to give some Americans a so-called guaranteed income without them having to work for it? The question draws sharply divided responses. Lisa Fletcher examines both sides of an expanding debate.
For Tidrika Lewis, growing up in the South Side area of Durham, North Carolina wasn't easy.
I got myself started getting in trouble, involved with the teen court system, then jail, then prison. I went to prison for obtaining property by false pretense, but multiple accounts.
Is that writing false checks?
Writing false checks.
A single mom, Lewis was 15 years old when she gave birth to her first child. She had her second child while in prison, and her third came after she finished serving her more than 6-year sentence. Soon after coming home, Lewis heard about a program run by a nonprofit organization called Step Up Durham, offering residents released from jail $600 a month in cash payments for a year, with no work requirement and no strings attached.
I was able to free myself of my part-time job.
Similar to Durham, more than 150 programs across the U.S. in places like Tacoma, Washington, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Baltimore, Maryland have experimented or are experimenting with regular, unconditional cash payments. Many received some funding from Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey, who donated $15 million toward the effort. And many used public funding, including leftover COVID money from the Trump and Biden administrations. Durham's program received $500,000 from Dorsey, in addition to local tax dollars and other private funding. But not everyone in Durham is a fan of free cash.
I wouldn't dare take that. It's an insult.
Under Durham's Step Up program, Jamad Lane would have been eligible for $7,200 a year when he got out of prison in 2004. He served 2 years for shooting and injuring a man. When he got out, he was sweeping floors for $7.25 an hour.
A lot of people would give up, though, and look for welfare.
Well, because they are looking to blame somebody other than themselves. I had nobody to blame but myself. You want to know what creates a lot of poverty in the black community? It's out of wedlock birth. So for that woman who says, I need this money to help, what is the father of those children doing for his kids?
Lane says guaranteed income allows people to duck responsibility for their life choices.
The thing is, people are willing to do what it takes to get a handout, willing to do what it takes to protest, willing to do what it takes to chase something they believe is owed, but they're not willing to look at themselves and say, I need to do this myself.
A top elected city official in Durham, Mark Anthony Middleton, is championing the project.
Did the program that you instituted here meet your expectations?
It exceeded my expectations.
He says guaranteed income isn't about the virtue or vice of those receiving aid, but about saving taxpayer money.
So the question is, are there savings to be realized? Not only financial savings, but savings in terms of heartache, in terms of impact on our society, if we did something like guaranteed income on the front end, as opposed to incarceration, massive entitlements, bailouts on the back end. What's different about this guaranteed income is that we focused on a particular population because of limited resources. There was no strings attached.
But the modern push for unconditional cash aid isn't anything new.
The welfare of a nation depends upon the welfare of its children.
Starting in 1935, the U.S. government provided cash welfare to families. That program, Aid to Families with Dependent Children, eventually assisted about 1 in 7 American kids, until the 1990s, when nearly all congressional Republicans and about half of Democrats voted to terminate the AFDC through welfare reform, legislation that was signed into law by Democrat President Bill Clinton.
So guaranteed income has been tried in the U.S. before. How did it work out?
It was an absolute disaster.
Heritage Foundation welfare expert Robert Rector authored much of the legislation for welfare reform under Clinton.
If you take the old program, Aid to Families with Dependent Children, it basically paid single mothers to not work. We stopped, not the aid, but we stopped this idea of giving you cash without working.
In 2021, President Biden authorized a child tax credit, where families could receive monthly payments even if no one in the household had a job. Congress is debating a new version of that, which would require recipients to work. For Full Measure, I'm Lisa Fletcher.
After a break, an update to our reporting about COVID misinformation from the CDC. For more than 3 years, we've been following the scandal where Congressman Tom Massie caught the CDC intentionally putting out false information about COVID vaccines and natural immunity. The CDC and its top vaccine advisors wrongly claimed that the original vaccine studies showed there was a benefit to people getting vaccinated even if they'd already had COVID. Massie recorded his conversations as CDC officials admitted that wasn't true, but balked at correcting it.
And they said, thank you for finding the mistake. We're going to fix this. And I thought, well, okay, problem solved. This is how government works.
But it didn't quite turn out that way. 2 days later, the same Dr. Cohn who'd promised a fix joined other CDC doctors in repeating the false information, this time in an online session for medical professionals. They wrongly claimed studies show people who've had coronavirus do benefit from the vaccine.
So, Sarah Oliver, what should people who have had COVID-19 be vaccinated, and should they be vaccinated now?
Data from both clinical trials suggests that people with prior infection are still likely to benefit from vaccination.
So I called them up on Tuesday as soon as I could to ask them why it hadn't been fixed. And it was like I was starting all over with the same people. And instead of fixing it, they proposed repeating it and just phrasing their mistake differently.
Well, eventually, the CDC agreed to correct the misinformation, but Massie said the revised language was still wrong and left the same misimpression. Last October, Massie asked the CDC to answer to the continuing issues. More than 3 months after a deadline, the CDC responded, but avoided the question and simply stated that, quote, CDC issued numerous public health guidance documents specific to the differing needs of Americans. CDC continues to monitor COVID-19 to ensure that CDC guidance and recommendations reflect the most up-to-date science, end quote. Massie responded by telling Full Measure, the CDC letter is completely unresponsive to my particular questions. What are they trying to hide? We will find out. Coming up next week on Full Measure,
we return to our examination of health concerns caused by COVID and COVID vaccines that are plaguing millions of Americans.
Sometimes I feel like I'm putting Humpty Dumpty together.
The latest emerging research on long COVID and long vax and the lack of attention to the problem from top public health officials next week on Full Measure.
Until then, we'll be searching for more stories that hold powers accountable. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Sharyl Attkisson.